Hello, little stars. It's me, TwinklePhoenix, and welcome back to movie night. Let's see if we can find another ending. Knock, knock. You hear soft steps coming closer from the inside of the house. You can't help but let a small smile loose on your face. Nobody was seeing you, so who cared, right? You've been looking forward to today for weeks now. You can allow yourself a little self-indulgence. The door squeaks open just in time so that you don't give away how giddy you are, which is a good amount of giddy. You quickly get a hold of yourself right when the door opens, that little much needed to let voices slip through. Who's there? You have to restrain a giggle as you reply. Pretty. Pretty who? Pretty nice of you to open the door for me. You hear a snort from the other side of the door before seeing it finally opening. Hey buddy, how's it going? Always nice to see Sam's goofy face smiling at you. You hadn't seen him in what, weeks? Months? It will never fail to warm your heart. Except for now. It was failing. But it's not his fault, it's because it's so freezing cold outside. It's literally freezing my bones and biting up my butt. Was about to think you'd never show up. You asked if he was falling asleep. Maybe. Yes. He didn't surprise you. Yeah, I would have probably done the same. And that's why I hang out with you. Not counting your pungent humor, of course. You really got my deep and absolute irrational love for naps. Oh, you do. You absolutely do. And it helps to snuggle up to him when he's sleeping. Best time for nap time is always right now. Papyrus does not share our view, but even the greatest have flaws. When he knew you were coming, he ran outside shouting something about a surprise in the oven for you. Not his exact words, but I think you get the idea. The thought of Papyrus cooking specifically for you activates your fight-or-flight response. You freeze for a second, somehow associating the most rational thing to do with faking your death. Don't worry, just stick whatever it is in your pocket, and excuse yourself to the bathroom to flush it. Just try to look as if you're enjoying it, okay? You slowly nod. Besides, I have enough chips and snacks to feed a skeleton for weeks. You may die of food poisoning, but damn, I guarantee you're not gonna starve today. Well, that was somewhat reassuring. Come on in. Couch sounds better than standing outside. Too true. The warmth of the house is nice on your skin after the cold outside breeze, especially after you talked outside for no reason like idiots. You happily take off your coat and scarf, finally free from the suffocating clutches of synthetic cotton. Sans lets gravity help him settle down on the couch. He rests his pink slippers on the nearby table, maintaining eye contact, and thank heavens Papyrus isn't there to see him. Make yourself at home. He gestures to you in your heavy coat. If you were at home, you'd just throw it behind you as soon as you enter the door, but you figure that it would be rude, so you just self of the cloth hanger. You're no fun. You stick out your tongue at him. What? Throw it! He is caught off guard as the heavy pile of fluff lands on his head. He doesn't seem to regret teasing you. Okay, that was kind of fun. You very proudly puff out your chest, declaring your victory. Look at you. You are fun. So very fun. Truly the life of the party. Whoa, now don't let that go to your head, friendo. Carried away, you drop yourself on the couch, laughing maniacally, like you were a dungeon master ready to drop some absolute bullshit on your naive little players or something. Sans joins you slightly after with his Barton chuckle. He doesn't put in as much effort as you, but you can appreciate the effort. And when your laugh dies down with his too, because as much as you know, you can't really do that all night and all evening, it would be inconvenient. How would you eat then? And you two are left in a bubble of slight and comfortable silence. But again, after everything you believed to know about the skeleton, he took it upon himself to break the silence. Not sure if it was out of boredom or the pure knowledge of your adversity to talk first. So, you were thankful either way. I really don't know when Pups will be back. Could be minutes, could be hours, who knows? Great, more awkward silence. Bring it on, you thought. You were already embarrassed yourself anyway. Could you really sink any lower? The answer was, and you knew it very well, that yes, you could. So, do you want to wait for him, or because he's so cool, and because he's already seen everything in the movie box, he said we could start without him. But we have to pause if we get to the good bits. He really doesn't want to miss those. I have no idea what the good bits are, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. You doubt that considering his cynicism towards movies, but whatever, in the worst case scenario, you could just turn off the TV as soon as you hear the door open. But on the other hand, you would feel guilty starting the movie already. You could peacefully wait in the uncomfortable silence, could you? Quick save. Now let's save. Wait for Papyrus. You're right. There's no movie night without my bro. His comments are half of the fun after all. You couldn't agree more. Listening to Papyrus yelling at the screen was most of the time more entertaining than the movie itself. So let's wait then. He makes himself comfortable, pillowing his skull with his hands being made of hard bone. Their level of comfiness was left unknown, and he closes his eyes, choosing to patiently wait for the time to pass rather than trying to kill it. Oh, come on! You better than anyone knew that the best time to nap is right now, but not right now. While you were on the couch with him, what the heck are you supposed to do while he's sleeping? Actually, what are you supposed to do if he isn't sleeping? There was an indefinite amount of time to wait ahead of you, where both of everything and absolutely nothing could happen, and both options scared you to death. What were the two of you supposed to do? A staring contest? He didn't have eyes that needed to blink, so what was even the point of doing a staring contest? Why don't you think things through beforehand, like a normal functioning human being? What do you do? Okay, let's ask about his job. What a fun and entertaining conversation starter. You were very proud of yourself, aren't you? Everything alright, I suppose. I mean, all 12 of my jobs keep me pretty busy, but it's not like I'm not used to it. On the other hand, I can slap pretty much whenever I want. Being a part-time job, it's not like they can pay me any less. Besides, I'd never leave my hot dog stand. Could live there if I wanted to. Seriously, best place to sleep, eat, and sometimes make money. Everything Sultan could ever desire. You laugh and ask him to bring you one of his hot dogs next time you two meet. Okay, sure. We also have hot cats. Just like a limited amount of time. Hot bats too. You blink in confusion, unsure if you hallucinate or dreams a sentence. That's an original. Could be as big as baseball bats or as small as an actual bat. Whatever gets you purely casual. Guys don't seem too keen with the idea, but what can I do? As long as they buy it, they can think whatever they want. Is there something better you could do? Well, everyone keeps telling me to put these diplomas to use. Hold up, Santa's diplomas with an S. He has more than one? He seems to notice your surprise, not sure if that led him on your confused blink or your monotone what? You know, in the underground there wasn't really much to do, and I had a lot of time on my hands. I'm not even sure the stuff I graduated in are worth something on the surface. Humans seem more interested in science instead of magic, which are kind of the same thing anyway. Dang, you wish you knew magic? You could do all sorts of amazing things. Flying instead of walking, materializing cooked foods, picking up the remote without needing to get up. That's it. That's all you can think of. That's a lie. I can think of more than that. Still a really good use of magic in your opinion. From what I got, I could do some easy level science jobs, but being in a knob all day wearing an ugly version of a trench coat was never my cup of tea. Sure, I could pay the bills, but whatever. Gotta do what you love, right? Or what you can tolerate more. Either way works just fine. Always worked for me. Been a good strategy since the underground. Did a little of everything there too. Sold hot dogs, worked in the shops, watched out for newcomers. That was my fave. I was basically paid to sleep in the woods. Just like selling hot dogs without hot dogs. You question his hot dog selling methods. Well, my methods never failed me up until now. Apparently humans don't like to buy stuff from sleeping salesmen. And I thought life up here would have been easier. But you got taxes and a bunch of laws to follow here. We didn't have those in the underground, that's for sure. How did they survive all cramped in that hole together? They didn't live in a hole, I said this before, it's a mountain. They have cave systems. Anyway, did they have borderline unofficial rules? Did they just agree not to damage each other and they surprisingly worked? You can't help but think how humans could only see a society like that like a utopia, an unrealizable dream. For the first time you realize how different your lives had been up until now. They weren't just underground, they were on a completely different plane of existence for what mattered. They hadn't had contact with the outside world in millenniums. That had to matter something in how they lived, right? All those years of not acknowledging one another surely brought the two species to different paths. It's weird how people still have to address this. No one really questioned them, they just kind of popped up out of nowhere and that was it. No cultural exchanges, no books or movies about the epic tale, everyone just shrugged it off at some point. What did you expect from the surface to be like? I mean, it's not like we were completely clueless, we had some information about it. Where do you think all your filthy trash ends up to? You could only imagine how much knowledge they could retrieve from the trash cars, dirty old dolls, empty guns, and all the junk that ended up in the rubbish dump. Yeah, it was as useful as it sounds. Told us more about humans than the surface itself, and even like that, there's just much stuff you could know by garbage alone. A questionable amount of stuff. Lots of trash magazine comics with googly eyes. They should consider themselves lucky. You've seen worse in the public bathrooms. But thank Oscar that wasn't our only source. Ever heard about spiders? You nod. Of course you heard about spiders. What kind of a question was that? Fuckers really out to camp on the corner of your room. Not like they bother you so much. They could just stand up in their little corner all they wanted if they respect the contract. They ate your flies. They would stay in the corners. They tried to go on adventures on your bookshelf. No, no, no. They had to be warned. You couldn't risk them wandering around at night. Our secret agents. Excuse you? They were tiny enough to be ignored by the barrier. Every now and then they would walk back in for a news report. It wasn't very useful as many of the little guys wouldn't make it past a week, but they were trying. Okay, now you felt bad. You won't ever kill another spider ever again in your life. Oh my god, they were killing the spiders. From now on, you'll have to do that much more work of bringing them out with a piece of paper. It'll be tiring, but you're willing to make the sacrifice. Who knows, maybe they'll catch more flies if you ask them nicely. So, we only had left that handful of tales going around since the war days. A lot more slurred by time. Some talked about fish and human hybrids. But most described grass and trees, seas and the suns, of course. At first, a big giant ball of gas floated in the void above us wasn't really appealing to some, but eventually they got the idea. Wait, what about human hybrids? We arrived at a point where we knew enough about the surface to study the stars, but we knew jack shit about humans. The garbage only told us that much, and that much wasn't enough or even reliable most of the time. But whatever, the thought of an open space without a fake sky above your head was enough for me to want to leave the damn place. Don't get me wrong, it was fine and nice temperature weather, but you couldn't see the stars from there. But Papyrus told me you had stars. They weren't stars. Everyone called them that. Even stole a nice telescope and an astronomy book from the dumpster to try to study them. You doubt anything from a dumpster could truly be called nice. Should have took a geology book instead. They were just shiny rocks on the ceiling. He looks up trying to remember the underground sky. Kinda pretty, but the real thing is way cooler. And big too, way bigger than the surface. And I haven't even seen half of it, let alone space. You call Sans a nerd. Hey, not my fault space is too cool for your normies. Of course space is too cool for you. Space is too cool for anybody. Who on the Earth could claim to be cooler than space? Duh, my bro is cooler. At least when he has sunglasses on. He's a true star. He expected a reaction from you, but that wasn't even a joke. And he knows that. Do I? Why are you smiling so brightly then? You cover your mouth because while there may not be jokes, he looks so accomplished and proud of himself when he tells this to you. And you can't help but be equally amused. You have problems with my puns? You can comment me anytime. That's too much. Any more ugly puns and both your heart and his ego could explode. You asked for a truce. Coward. How about we take this outside? Oh yeah? And what you gonna do outside, eh? Bore me to dust? You correct him because heck yeah you were going outside, but not to fight, even though you were always super ready for that. But to go stargazing. What? You want to stargaze outside? Well, you can't really do that from inside the house, can you? You can, but it's not the same experience. Besides, there really isn't a reason why not to. The sun went down and Papyrus might come back tomorrow morning for how much you know. Plus, the sky is clear. There's literally no reason why you shouldn't go out and engage in this nice thing he likes. Well, alright then, let's go out. Ooh, you are so down to stargaze that you forgot to grab your coat and are reminded by the cold late evening breeze slapping you in the face. But actually, where did you put it? You threw it at Sans. That's where you put it. You ask him where the heck he put your coat. What coat? Of course he forgot. You tell him there's not something you were planning to do tonight. Just a sec. He goes upstairs in a surprisingly skippy speed. Probably the fastest you've ever seen him move, let alone climb the stairs. It's a little fumbling later that he's back with hugging a soft, shapeless mass that before you can identify it lands on your head. Fetch. You laugh once you spread it out in front of you. It's an identical hoodie to the one he wears now. What? Papyrus buries them in stock. Oh my god, we are wearing his hoodie. He looks a little embarrassed, but you can't really complain. It's soft and warm fabric and smells nice. Yes, you smelled it because you're a weirdo. Now you better stop before he sees you being a weirdo. The first thing you do is throw yourself on the soft grass cushioning ground, sprawling your limbs out like a graceless starfish, enjoying the feeling of being one with Earth. Your head will probably look like shit in the morning due to all the dirt and humidity, but hell with it. Easy there, buddy. Sans chuckles as he lays down beside you, face up, hands behind his skull. You envy how little humidity must bother him. You convince yourself that yes, your hair will live another day, and you're focused on enjoying the sense of the emptiness you get from looking at the sky. It's terrifying but pleasant at the same time. The reminder that you are meaningless and nothing in this world really matters. The thought that the universe will go on no matter what happens is strangely reassuring. You try to enjoy it for a moment. Allowing yourself to bathe in the sensation. See those 3 stars jammed together? Which ones? Damn it, Sans, do you mind? You're having a moment with the inseparable truth, but everyone you will love will die at some point. What the hell? You can't stay mad at him, though. This enthusiastic Sans is a blessing. You try to look for the stars, and he's literally pointing at them, but for the love of you, they all look like stars jammed together. You make a sound. How he decides to interpret it is his responsibility only. I do not see them. They are right there. In an attempt to probably enter your skull and see through your eyes, he smushes his head against yours. Excuse you? See them? See those? Okay, yeah, I can see them. He's talking about these ones. Okay, now you kind of see, but not too much. You are too concentrated on the regulating your body heat that has reached dangerous degrees due to the proximity. Seriously, you can feel his breath. Is that even a thing with skeletons? And a warm fuzzy feeling from the ribcage pressed on your arm. It's far from unpleasant, and it's already too late when you realize that's exactly the problem. That's Ryan's belt. He's a cool dude. A harem broken? What? Okay, I'm feeling Alphys has something to do with this right now. What the hell? And if you follow the line of the stars, you'll find Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. Well, actually, that's the big star with a small one orbiting around it, but everyone keeps calling them Sirius anyway. They're part of the good lord. They're part of the keenest major constellation. There you can see the tail and the head of the dog. I swear to... This annoying dog up here. You can't find anything, but it doesn't matter. Hearing the excitement in his voice is more than enough for you. You love passionate people talking about stuff they're passionate about. And who knew Sans was so passionate about this? Exactly. Who knew Sans could express so much emotion and say more than 10 words at once? You really need to pick up some astronomy books, or at least binge some cosmic episodes. You really want to engage in this conversation with this cool nerd Sans. A good first step into the astronomy world would be to find the Sirius brother, but the stars all look bright. How can you determine where's the brightest? Space is such a beautiful, confusing mess. Alright, dummy, what do you see then? Did you just call me Dubby? Oh my god. Does it matter which one you see? Where's the Great Papyrus? No shit, you're just messing with me. There's no way you can see Pop in there. You've never been more serious in your life. He was right there looking fine too, with the cape in the wind and everything. You take his arm to trace your newly found constellation so that he could see it too. Oh my god! Oh my god. You wouldn't have noticed it in a normal condition, but with the mouth being so close to your ear, you hear a tiny gasp escape his mouth. It really is him. This is great. I love it. I'm gonna call NASA to make this an official one. You stifle a laugh, almost if being too loud can make the stars scatter away like fireflies. I'm serious. I'm calling NASA right now. You sure he already knows NASA doesn't decide constellations, does it? You have some writing to do when you get home. Can't wait to show it to Poppy. He'll love it. Yeah, you two can't wait to say hi to Papyrus. Sans, human, what are you doing on the ground? You turn around to see a lanky skeleton loaded with supermarket plastic bags. Sans, how many times do I have to tell you the ground is not a suitable sleeping space? Go inside the house if you really want to sleep on a flat surface where people step on. He then turns his head to you in a mechanical motion, that head turn having more energy than all your daily actions together. I'm so sorry he dragged you into this, human. He still has problems with the concept of having a time for sleeping and a time for not sleeping. You shouldn't explain he didn't drag you, as this was your idea, and also that you two were not sleeping. Papyrus looks confused. Is there really another lay down on the ground activity besides sleeping? Sans pats the spot on the ground beside him. Come here, Pops. I think you'll like this. He raises a bro bone, but for the sake of brotherhood, puts his skeptical aside and lays down with him, the plastic bag forgotten at his feet. Where's the thing you wanted to show me? You bring the Papyrus constellation to Papyrus's attention, putting careful notice on the regal pose and the windy cape. Wowee, that's me! Great as ever! Was it you, human, who made that? Oh, of course it was you! You made it to celebrate your favorite person in the world! Me! Me! You didn't have the heart to tell him. You didn't actually make you didn't made anything. Sans, have you called NASA yet? They need to know about this! Oh my god, NASA... Working on it, bro. Oh my god, these two, really. Sans, do you know who else is up there in the sky? I'm sure it's an honor just for the greatest heroes. Well, there's a lion up there and also some fish. Oh. But I'm sure they all do some heroic stuff to be up there. The lion probably saved some ancient god or something. He's been up there for a long time. Who's that one? Is that a hero? That's Hercules, a strong dude like you. You could be roommates. That's a great idea, Sans. I'd love to have a roommate. Who doesn't leave his socks around? And what about that one? That's a puppy. A puppy? Another Papyrus? Wow, I'm so important! They kept going back and forth for a while. Papyrus kept asking questions and Sans trying to hide his excitement. He seemed genuinely happy in sharing this with his brother. Who knows, maybe it's not the first time they talked about this. Maybe it is, and Papyrus never knew about this. You have no idea if Sans had a secret talent in making up stuff on the spot, or really had a map of the nocturnal sky sculpted inside his head. Either way, it was impressive. You just stared at the sky, admiring the thousands of celestial bodies above you, entertaining and educating yourself with the brothers' conversation, ignoring the cold that was slowly marching deep into your bones. All considering, it's a nice way to spend the evening. Eventually, Papyrus got up at an alarming speed, remembering about the food that needed to be put in the fridge. You stayed there just a little longer, enough to see a shooting star right in the middle of the sky. Or a plane. You weren't really sure. Sans didn't see it, as he fell asleep in the small amount of time that Papyrus needed to arrange his shopping bags on the table, and noticed that all 27 burritos had unfrozen. Well, looks like you won't have to eat Papyrus' special tonight. Only 9 burritos, you could do that. You express your wishes and drag his sleepy Sans back inside. Ending. A good time. Aw, that was cute! I like that. That was really cute. Okay, so I want to see what the other choices were for the sky one, so I'm going to add these in on top so we can see. So, a white annoying dog. What? No, wait, you didn't see that dog from before and you see this one. How do you even know it's white? You giggle. You kind of made it up, but not that you looked closer. There's a group of stars that resembles a white dog in that mess of light. You take his arm to trace your newly found constellation so that he could see it too. Oh my god, it's so cute. You know, now that I see it, it does look like he would be white for some reason. You stifle off, almost if being too loud would make the stars scatter away like fireflies. Really, it's kind of there. Maybe if you move that bright one a little to the left, it would be perfect. The bright one. They're all bright. It's like having to choose between a bunch of pizzas and saying you want the one that tastes good. He chuckles slightly at the confusion on your face. Something tells you he's messing with you right now. The white, bright one right there. The one against the black background. Okay, he's messing with you. You go along with it. Sans, human, what are you doing on the ground? You turn around to see a lanky skeleton loading with a supermarket plastic bag. Sans, how many times do I have to tell you the ground is not a suitable sleeping place? Go inside the house if you really want to sleep on a flat surface where people step on. He then turns his head to you in the mechanical motion, and then head turns having more energy than all your daily actions together. That dog is so freaking cute. I'm so sorry he dragged you into this, human. He still has problems with the concept of having a time for sleeping and a time not to sleep. You giggled gingerly, explaining that he didn't drag you as this was your idea, and also that you two were not sleeping. Papyrus looks confused. Is there really another lay down on the ground activity besides sleeping? Sans passes the spot on the ground beside him. Come here, Pop. We need your help. He couldn't resist a chance to help. So lets the skeptical aside for a moment and lays down with you, the plastic bag forgotten at his feet. What am I supposed to do now? We're looking for a bright white star. Think you could help us? Of course I can. Who do you think I am? You try guessing the Papyrus. That's exactly who I am. Thank you, human. He sprints his eye sockets, really trying to get this right. Of course he's the best at everything, even star finding. After a while of humming voices in several different ways, his arms could scratch his skull. He decisively points a finger up to the sky. That one! It's the brightest and also the widest. Papyrus, that's the moon. Me? He doesn't seem like the discovery brought him down. He points it somewhere else. What? That one over there? The shiny one? Precisely, the shiny one. That's Rigo. And that one? That's Pollux. How about the one over there? They kept going back and forth like that for a while. Papyrus kept asking questions, Sam's trying to hide his excitement. We're gonna now go for the last constellation, so let's go the veggie burger. What? No way, you couldn't see Orion's belt and you see that? How do you even know it's a veggie burger? You at it? You giggle. You kind of made it up, but not that you look closer. There is a group of stars that resembles a veggie burger in that mess of light. Leaves and all. You take his arm to trace your newly found constellation so that he could see it too. Oh my god, it is a burger. You know, now that I see it, it does look like it would taste like veggies for some reason. You stifle off, almost if being too loud would make the stars scatter away like fireflies. That was a cute ending as well. Now, I am assuming that if you didn't toss your coat at him and it was placed delicately up on like the clothes hanger, we wouldn't have gotten to put on his hoodie. Leave it as sans to lose the coat. I wonder if we ever get our coat back, or do you think maybe he did it on purpose so that we could wear his hoodie? Either way, I really liked that one. That was cute.